okay with handshaking. Is that okay? Oops. I think we are supposed to check. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Very well deserved. And this
Thank
is
you.
the CASI McCurdy Award.
Thank you so much. If I can have,
There is a microphone right here.
so do you hear me well, or I need to take the microphone?
There you go.
Okay. So I did the small speech. Let me read it. Oh boy, I need my glasses. I'm getting old. Okay, so good evening, bonjour tout le monde, bonsoir tout le monde. So what is all this about? Okay, so this is an achievement of what I thought was a big monster to face. As Mark Twain rightly said, they didn't know it was impossible, so they did it. So let me tell you this story. All started in 2008 when I saw in the newspaper the C series saying that Bombardier will launch this aircraft and it's gonna have environmental reduced footprint. And I went through that, I was amazed. And of course, my background was environment engineering. And I said, oh my God, that's fantastic. How will they do that, Bombardier? Because they were talking about a huge environmental analysis, life cycle analysis done on an aircraft. That was really a big, big work. So somehow I knew it. And I said, you know what, Bombardier, good luck, but this is amazing ambition. Exactly 2 weeks after, I was called, because I sent my CV like a month before. I just sent it for Bombardier, but not for a given position. So they called me and they said, in an interview, so we have a position, we want to do this environmental life cycle assessment on the aircraft, so let us know how to do it. Ah, okay, so I didn't have a clue how to do it either. So I accepted the challenge. And I remember when I started thinking of, the strategy, how we're gonna do that, I told my director at that time, so we need to ask your 55 suppliers to provide us with data because I need to assess the environmental impact of more than 600,000 detailed parts of the aircraft. I remember him saying, oh boy, don't tell me that because all the contracts are closed. Oh, so Kahina, all what you need to do is to convince them without any it was not this deliverable in their contract, and just do it, okay? So that was the big, big, big challenge. Going with suppliers one by one, telling them, this isn't new, by the way. We, Bombardier, we're gonna be working on doing this environmental footprint on the aircraft. So please help us in our journey. And this is, so many suppliers, they were saying, okay, so what's in it for me? So what should I do that? And even it's not in the contract, things like this. Yeah, so I managed to work really closely with them, explaining them all this stuff. So by the end, I was successful to convince all the suppliers, 100% were in, but I was known at that time as the green lady at Bombardier. And I remember one day, one of the suppliers called Steve, he was, Kahina, I promise, I turn off the lights at each time I quit the meeting. Oh, come on, Steve. I think I'm doing more complex stuff than turning off the lights. Anyways, just to let you know that it's brought like some environmental conscious to all suppliers by doing this work as well. So that was actually my story, and yeah, so as mentioned, that was really a huge work. Of course, I didn't do it alone. We can't achieve anything alone. That was a great team behind me. The management at Bombardier at that time was really for great support. So I would like really to thank them, to thank Bombardier to support me for this journey. And just to mention the deliverable, that was a big deliverable because it was the first time ever in aerospace industry that we come up with an environmental product declaration on the C series first, CS 100, and after CS 300, and we finished with the global 7500. Well, so a big thank again for Bombardier and the team I had working with me to achieve this. A big thank also to Ali Khalili. He's not here, but he's the one who nominated me and recognized the work we have done to be nominated within this CASI award. And also I would like to thank Airbus, because Airbus, now I work for Airbus, and today my management and all colleagues, they know about this event, so they supported me and they allowed me to come to receive this award on behalf of the A220 now, still the same aircraft. And I finish also to say a big thanks to my husband here. He thought that he has nothing to do with this, but yes, you had many things to do with, because at that time I had like 2 babies, and with all this pressure on my head, so he helped me a lot to balance my life. So thank you so much, and thank you to all of you, of course, to all the aerospace colleagues and stakeholders. Thank you.
Sure.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. I just want to, I didn't prepare any speech, but I just want to say that, take this opportunity to thank CASI, especially the Senior Award Committee, to consider myself, and especially it's a pleasure to join Kahina's group and to receive this award. Myself, I feel very I did a little bit of reflection, and I look at all the previous the list of the recipients, and I feel very privileged. And I saw some pioneers' name that I recognize, and also had a little bit pleasure that to work recognize some of the names that I had the privilege of interacting and even call as my colleagues and the friends. So I feel very, very humbled to join this group. And thank you again. I wish all the best. Thank you.
Okay, I can do that too. Thank you. Oh, I'll use this one. Do I have to use it? It doesn't matter which one I use. Okay. All right, so our next award is the prestigious CASI Howe Award, which is distinctive from the previous award, the McCurdy Award. This is one that is really honoring a lifetime of service to the aerospace and aeronautical industry, particularly towards its planning and policy making and general leadership through a career of dedication to the aeronautical and aerospace sciences. Again, you can learn more about the award and who it's named after, the Right Honorable C.D. Howe. This year, I'm really, for the 2021 year, I'm honored to call to the stage a longtime friend and colleague of mine, Dr. David Zingg from the University of Toronto. So let's welcome Dave. So this award has a much bigger plaque. Hopefully you have some space. Congratulations. Thanks. Here you go. Thank you. And this one also has a, here, you hold that one. I'll pick up this one here too.
Oh, I get that too.
You get this one. Although I don't think you're allowed to take this one home. This one comes with a perpetual trophy as well. So would you like to say a few words?
Sure.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Not going to miss an opportunity.
All right, sure, yeah. Take the stage. You're supposed to talk into the microphone though.
Okay. So I'm a professor, so I talk 50 minutes. Is that okay? 50 minutes, yeah. So I'll start with the thank yous. So obviously I thank the Senior Awards Committee and the people who wrote or prepared my nomination. I really thank Jeff. I'd really like to give a shout out to Jeff Longadoc for just keeping CASI going during COVID and just for all the stuff you've done for CASI. So. And I really want to echo some of the earlier comments I think Phil made, that the CASI is really, really important to the Canadian aerospace ecosystem. And CASI is, you get out of it what you put into it. So we really need more people to be actively engaged in CASI. Now this is, I'm speaking to the converted here, but if you can enlist your colleagues and really let's get CASI rocking and rolling again, I think that would really do Canada a lot of good. So I thought I'd mention that. Now, similar to Hugh, I checked the list of past winners of the C.D. Howe Award and right away thought, what am I doing on this list, right? So there's some pretty prominent people there. And in fact, in 1972, the winner of the C.D. Howe Award was Gordon Patterson. And that might not mean a lot to some of you, but that's the founder of UTIAS. So Gordon Patterson is a bit of a legend around UTIAS. So. And also, similar to Kahina, I definitely thank my wife, couldn't be here, but also my colleagues at UTIAS. I mean, nothing is done by an individual. Everything is done by a team and everything. So, yeah, I'm really honored and humbled at the same time. And, yeah, thanks to CASI and thanks to everyone for being here.
Congratulations. Don't forget your plaque. Dave, it's your hardware. You're supposed to take care of that. All right, so is that that concludes our evening tonight, Jeff? Anything else we need to say? Did you want to take?
I'll just sneak up here and I'm going to join you.
You're going to join me? Okay.
Yeah. So this here is our vice president. I'm very happy to have Phil join CASI. He's sort of semi-Western, which is good. You know, being in Winnipeg.
A little bit out.
You know, certainly not Quebec and Ontario. So we're awfully delighted about that. And Phil will be taking over next year as president. And Phil is from the space side of things. As our current president, Al was from more the aero side of things. And our previous president was really from the military. Mm-hmm. So this is what we try to do at CASI. So I just want to thank you, Phil, for coming all the way from Winnipeg. And he'll be here another day, and I think you might be staying a little while longer, too.
I will be staying, yep.
So thank all of you for coming tonight. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 8 o'clock breakfast, and 8:30 things begin. So.
Can I take 1 second?
Of course.
Talk about the journal?
Oh, yes, please.
So one of the roles, as Jeff mentioned, I've taken over as vice president and hopefully soon to become president. As an academic myself, and also as somebody that worked for many years in industry, it's really important to me that we continue this collaboration between industry and academia. I think that CASI holds a really unique role in Canada to bring together students and professors and industry professionals alike. I like to talk in my own research about crossing that, that divide, that chasm between academic research and industrial adoption. It's a really foundational part of my research to cross that divide and make sure that the stuff that we as academics are writing in journal articles are actually finding light of day in industry. And I think that CASI plays a really important role in making that connection between industry and academia. To that end, I've been volunteered, asked, told to take over as editor-in-chief of the CASJ journal, so the Canadian Aeronautics and Space Journal. If you're wondering what's happened to that journal of recent times, well, it has been a little bit dormant. We are looking to get this journal started again, and I would really like to use this conference as a vehicle to get that journal going again. So you will hear from us in the coming days following this conference about ways for you to take whatever papers or presentations that you've given throughout the week this week and turn them into a journal article that can be rigorously peer-reviewed and presented in what I think will be a uniquely Canadian journal that addresses Canadian issues. Like any editorial endeavor, it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of dedication from not just myself and the editorial board, but from all of you to adopt this venue for publishing. And I'm, you know, I don't stand to gain anything financially, of course, from CASI because I'm a volunteer, like most of us are in CASI. But what I'd like to reach out to the community about is say, let's support this journal, because I think that Canadians in particular need a distinctly Canadian place to publish. It's going to take some time to build up the reputation of CASJ up to what it has been in the past few decades, but I feel really strongly that we as academics and as industry alike need a place for us to disseminate research in an open and honest and very well thought through and peer-reviewed way. So if you could, I'd love you to join to me and CASI and the rest of the CASI community in trying to get this journal off the ground. It's going to require the support of all of us to do that. But like I said, I'm very confident that this is what Canada needs, and it's something that we need to resurrect. So it'll be a fully online journal. It will be fully open access so that people, that any Canadian can see and benefit from the research that we're all doing. It will showcase both space and aeronautical research alike. We'll be doing the same thing at next year's CASI conference, CASI Astro conference as well. But I'd like to take this opportunity to reach out to the aero community and say, let's try to make a go of this. I think that it's going to be really beneficial for our community, and let's see if we can make a go of it. So keep your eyes on your email. You'll be hearing from us, and let's make CASJ important to Canadians again. Thanks.
Hear, hear. Thank you. Sleep tight. See you tomorrow.